Live at 5:30, Judge Brett Kavanaugh has now been sworn into the Supreme Court. What that means for people here in Tucson when the News 4 at 5:30 starts right now.
Investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 5:30.
Well, Judge Brett Kavanaugh is now officially Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Van Zane.
And I'm Aliyah Shahid. The Senate confirmed Kavanaugh this afternoon following a very tight vote. Susan McGinnis has our story.
After a vote disturbed several times by protesters, the final tally was read by the vice president.
On this vote, the ayes are 50, the nays are 48.
The confirmation is a victory for President Trump, who spoke about Kavanaugh before the vote.
And I think he's going to make us all very proud.
The confirmation follows a months-long battle, first over Kavanaugh's judicial record, then over sexual assault allegations against him by Dr. Christine Blasey Ford and other women. Hundreds of protesters turned out in Washington and nationwide, urging senators to vote no.
Thank God for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. I think she's inspired millions of women.
Others showing support for Kavanaugh.
I just think it would be a travesty to not nominate him based on such a flimsy claim.
Ahead of the vote, senators on both sides made their final comments on Kavanaugh and the controversy the nomination created.
Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation is a low moment for the Senate, for the court, for the country.
Ignored in the media circus that the Democrat leaders created was Judge Kavanaugh's extraordinary record as a judge.
After a confirmation battle that lasted months and divided a nation, both sides now look to another place where they can make a difference.
November is coming.
The midterm elections.
After tonight's swearing in, Kavanaugh will be able to start work on the court immediately. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, NBC News.
And today's confirmation prompted protests across the country, including right here in Tucson.
That's where protesters lined the street outside Senator Jeff Flake's Tucson office, and that's also where we find News 4 Tucson's Danelle Confair with the latest.
Dozens of protesters are here today at Senator Jeff Flake's Tucson office. They say their protests don't just end here, that they'll take them to the polls.
I think people are out here across the country, in Tucson and Phoenix, nationwide, because we're angry. And people, I think this country has a history of not believing women, not believing survivors.
The Senate confirmed Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court on Saturday. Senator Jeff Flake and Senator Jon Kyl both voted to confirm Kavanaugh, and that's causing controversy for some who say they don't want a judge who's accused of sexual assault. Corey McGraw, a sexual assault survivor herself, is speaking out in outrage.
I decided to share my story today after decades of silence because it's time. We're done with this. It's hurting our country to have people suffering sexual abuse in silence and no accountability for the perpetrators.
Brett Kavanaugh will be confirmed Saturday evening in a private ceremony. Protesters say now they need to get everyone to the polls this general election.
I hope that people get out on November 6th and they vote, but I also hope that we don't wait 4 years for change. We have to vote and we have to be in the streets. We have to protest and we have to believe in each other.
They may get the judge, but we've got to get Congress back.
Danelle Confair, News 4 Tucson.
A University of Arizona professor is voicing her concerns over the Kavanaugh confirmation. Catherine Barnes teaches law at the U of A. She is among more than 2,000 law professors across the country who signed a letter published in the New York Times opposing the nomination of the High Court's newest justice.
His evidenced lack of judicial temperament, his issues of sort of honesty and being willing to sort of answer the questions asked for him, and the disrespect he showed to sort of a co-equal branch of government.
Coming up at 10, hear the message Professor Barnes has for Senator Flake after he voted to confirm Kavanaugh. And for the latest on the confirmation of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, just head to our website, kvoa.com.
If you're planning to vote this November and you haven't registered yet, time is running out. October 9th, this Tuesday, is the last day you can register to vote in this year's general election. You can do so in two ways. Arizona offers online voter registration, or if you want to do it in person, contact your local election office for a list of locations. Stephanie?
Yes, the days are already getting shorter. We can see the sun is already setting, but the temperatures are just gorgeous outside right now. Here's a look outside with a few thin clouds moving through, 83 degrees. Winds are out of the southwest at 16 miles per hour, so it could feel breezy at times. Wind gusts tomorrow up to 30 miles per hour. Now, the dew point is at 37, which has dropped over the last 48 hours, and that's because we have a lot of dry air in our area, but things are about to change. Current temperatures right now tracking in the 70s and 80s across southern Arizona, 78 in Nogales, 83 in Safford, 83 as well in Tucson, 61 in Show Low, and 83 in Phoenix. Tomorrow we're going to cool down, 77 degrees in the Tucson metro, upper 50s in the mountains, low 80s in Santa Cruz and Cochise counties, but a big change is also on the way with a cold front that is moving through. It's going to bring temperatures 10 to 15 degrees below average. It's also going to bring a big chance for showers, plus another chance for showers come Thursday and Friday. I'll break all of that down coming up in our full forecast. Nick, Aaliyah.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. And speaking of rain, officials are still assessing damage to the Tohono O'odham Nation after Tuesday's heavy rain. Engineers say a large dam was damaged in the downpour, but it is holding up. They will continue to check on the structure twice a day. Evacuees in the Sells area are still away from their homes as that inspection continues. The community's emergency management is currently reaching out to a number of national departments for assistance.
Tucson police still need your help finding a man who's been missing for nearly a month. 26-year-old Jeffrey Woodruff Jr., who you see there, has been missing since September 6th. He has no medical conditions, and family members believe he is not a danger to himself or others. Investigators say Woodruff was last seen near Golf Links in Kolb. He's believed to be driving a gray 2010 Nissan Altima with a damaged headlight. If you have any information, contact police.
If you've been traveling near Grant and Oracle, you've probably noticed the traffic. That's because the city of Tucson is conducting a project to repave that intersection. Workers will be out between 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. today and tomorrow, and then the roadway will be repaved overnight Sunday into Monday morning.
Coming up next on News 4 Tucson Live at 5:30, a Tucson church is celebrating its anniversary with a special week-long fiesta.
Plus, the Boys and Girls Club is selling some very special pieces of art. We'll be right back.
Investigating for you. This is